After 2 months of owning the AirPods Pro 3s, I'm going to be comparing them to the AirPods Pro 2s and seeing the differences between them both. First thing that we're going to look into are the design of the AirPods Pro 2s and the 3s. They don't actually look very different, to be honest. With the exact same placement for the charging port, for example, the speaker placement is also exactly the same. The loop strap things, the metal brackets to hold the loops, they're exactly the same place. They look the same on the surface, to be honest. The only two differences that you can tell the two apart is the LED indicator on the AirPods Pro 2s are shown, whilst with the AirPods Pro 3s, they're actually hidden behind the plastic itself. So when the case is closed and the light turns off, you can actually see no LED indicator at all. It looks a little cleaner, but nothing too fancy, schmancy, anything like that. Opening them and closing them exactly the same way. They hold the Earbuds exactly the same way with magnets and everything. The closing sound, I would argue that they sound identical, to be honest, so not much has changed with that either. The second thing that they've actually changed is the pairing button on the back. So with the older AirPods Pro 2s, there used to be a physical button that you would hold down and it would start pairing them or putting them in the pairing mode. Whilst the AirPods Pro 3s, you could just tap on the front twice and it will start pairing right away and showing, of course, the white indicator light as shown. So yeah. Both charging cases have the exact same methods of charging. They can either be charged with an Apple Watch charger, so it just magnetically holds into place. They can also be charged wirelessly, not just wirelessly on a wireless pad, but also on a MagSafe pad, so they can also magnetically be stuck to the AirPods themselves. And of course, you can charge them just by charging them through a cable as well. My version are the Lightning versions, so way older versions, I believe 2, maybe even 3 years old now. And the newer ones are USB-C. That works a lot better when you have a laptop that's also using USB-C, and also in my case, the phone that also uses USB-C. So it's nice to just bring one cable finally to charge everything and just use one power adapter as well. So that's been really helpful with traveling, for example. The battery life has changed for the AirPods Pro 3s compared to these. Each earbud can now do 8 hours of listening time, whilst the old ones would do 6. It makes a little bit of a difference, but to be honest, I wouldn't be wearing them for 8 hours straight. I think mostly I've worn them for about 3 hours straight, so it's nothing really different. And also, if you got the habit of putting them back into the case, then they'll be charged anytime you want to use them again anyway. As long as the case is charged, of course. If you just have a wireless charging pad, just leave the case on the whole time. Use them. Once you've finished using them, just put them in, back on the pad. There's no problem at all. But for long flights, for example, this would be a great situation to just put your earphones in and just focus on whatever you want to do, listening to music, whatever it is that you do on the plane, of course. Both the noise cancelling are flawless. They're really good noise cancelling earbuds. There's definitely a difference between the two though. For example, the AirPods Pro 3s, noise cancelling is just more intense. With the AirPods Pro 2s, I could hear sometimes conversations when being in noise cancelling mode, which could also be a good thing or a bad thing if someone's trying to get your attention, of course. But in like a work setting, for example, it's really nice to just shut the world off completely and have the best noise cancelling that you have. That's why the AirPods Pro 3s are an unreal game changer, because you don't hear anything at all. So hearing people speak, noises, it's really tough to hear. And especially when you have music on playing in the background as well, it just makes it barely audible to hear anything in the background anyway. So that's a huge plus for the AirPods Pro 3s. Transparency mode on both of them, I couldn't tell the difference, to be honest. They both sounded great and everything's really audible. I can't tell whether I have them in or not sometimes just because of how clear they sound. Sometimes though, if you are in a quiet environment, and that's with both of the pairs, is that you sometimes get a hissing sound. So if you focus on long enough, so you can hear pretty pronouncedly. But overall, if there are just noises in the background anyway, and you have the noise cancelling on, you'll probably not even notice the hissing that these AirPods make. It's very minimal, but it's definitely something to take note of. The best feature about them is the adaptive mode. At work, I like to have noise cancelling on, listen to my own thing and really focus and get in depth with the work that I'm doing. But occasionally I'd like to just walk off and do my own thing which I then put in adaptive mode. I work in an office space, but there's also a factory on top of that. When I do walk into the really loud factory, the adaptive mode just adapts to the sound around you. If it's really loud outside and the AirPods think this can damage your ears, then it will purposefully add more noise cancelling. So I do like the flexibility of that. When it's in a loud environment, it will start to turn on the noise cancelling. Sometimes not fully, it does it like half. And then when you walk up further away from the actual noise, you can hear that it starts to adapt and go back into the transparency mode. Overall, the AirPods Pro 3s definitely have an edge on everything compared to the AirPods Pro 2s. The noise cancelling is just better. Transparency mode is pretty much the same. It's a little bit different, but not much, to be honest. And the adaptive features on both of them anyway. I'd give the slight edge to the AirPods Pro 3s, but to be honest, the AirPods Pro 2s have also been amazing and they work great. The sound quality, that's the number one thing that people have been talking about, is just the sound quality on these and what are the differences between them. The sub bass on the AirPods Pro 3s are definitely more noticeable. I feel like I'm jamming a lot more to music, so really head bopping around and really getting into the music a lot more than I would with the AirPods Pro 2s. But that doesn't mean that these are bad earphones at all. They sound awesome. Arguably, with the higher notes and the middle, like the treble, they just sound a little bit, I wouldn't say better, but they just sound more there, you know? They just sound more there, and depending on your listening style, these might sound a little better than these ones. But in my case, I love like house music, electronic dance music. Just hearing a lot of sub bass really amplifies my listening experience. So I've definitely been loving these so far and recommend these more for my listening style to the AirPods Pro 2s, but that doesn't mean that the AirPods Pro 2s are bad at all. They sound flawless as well. I'm just going to touch up on this feature because I know it's one of the main selling features of the AirPods Pro 3s. And that's got to do with the heart rate monitoring. I wear an Apple Watch during workouts, and I also wear a Garmin. I wear two watches, I know. Don't even get started into it because I'm stuck in two different ecosystems. So it's just, don't even think about wearing two. But yeah, I'm stuck into, I wear the Apple Watch, so that's where I get most of my heart rate data from. So when I wear these while sporting, I mean, they do help to improve the heart rate, like variability. So you have 2 points of measurements, so one from your ears, but also one from your wrist, which will supposedly help with more accurate measurements with the actual heart rate themselves. But to be honest, I couldn't really tell the difference. The heart rate on both the watches that I have on, they're next to identical. There's maybe 1 BPM difference or 2 after a workout when I see the averages. I feel like having that as well added on didn't really benefit me as much. But for someone who doesn't have an Apple Watch or hates wearing watches in general, this could definitely be a possibility because the accuracy on them is very similar to my Apple Watch as well. So if you're a person who likes to run or cycle with your phone, but not necessarily with a watch, then the AirPods Pro 3s are definitely a good option to have. Or for example, the Powerbeats Pro that I've reviewed earlier in the year. They also have that feature, but it's nowhere near as accurate as it is with these ones. So they've definitely ironed out the problems, I think, and they've just made them a better experience in general. If you're thinking about getting a pair of AirPods Pro 3s, but you have a pair of AirPods Pro 2s, I would recommend actually just cleaning them, getting it maintained, because what I've noticed, and especially after I've cleaned them now, and also changed the ear tips with new ones, you get a slight bit of sound quality back. If you really think that you don't want to spend another like $250 on a brand new pair of AirPods and you're really happy with the AirPods Pro 2s that you have, then I would just recommend buying a kit. I got this kit off of Apple itself, and it's been great just to clean the vents so that all the air can get through properly, clean the microphone so that the ANC and the transparency mode works properly, as well as just changing the ear tips. Make a big difference, as over time it just deforms the ear tips of wearing them constantly. And it didn't cost that much. I think it cost me about €30 anyway. Overall, I would recommend going for that first, cleaning them, maintaining them, and then if you're still not happy with it, you can still choose, of course, but At the end of the day, these are amazing earbuds, and I wouldn't suddenly jump ship just because these are out now. Finish it all off. These are awesome. Both of them, I love them both. I still use both of them actually. Because these are new for me, I actually use these more for when I go out running. Just because I don't really, it's not that I don't care about them much, but it's just, I'm not babying them as much because they are a 2 to 3 year old product now. And with these ones, I am a little still. Listening to both of them for the last 2 months, I've just been enjoying them both really. And of course the sound quality is a little different and the bass sounds quite a bit different to the AirPods Pro 2s. Overall, I mean, it's not a deal breaker. If you already own a pair of AirPods Pro 2s, keep them, still use them. If you don't yet or still have the first generation, then I would recommend to go for these because the first generation doesn't have the MagSafe charging or it doesn't have the Apple Watch charging either with them. So, and now especially with USB-C, it's just an even better deal to go and get these. Plus the extra battery life, of course. So thank you very much for actually watching this video and looking at the comparison between the two after 2 months. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and comment as that really helps a huge amount for me, and I'll catch you in the next one.